Does this image make you feel anything? Sadness, melancholy, perhaps nostalgia, a yearning for the happy childhood years, the pure joy you felt as you went down the slides. How about this one? Perhaps peace, freedom. Maybe for some of you, this can look like heaven. Can you imagine yourself floating in this pool, staring up at the sky without a care in the world? What about this one? I doubt you'll have any emotions relating to the place itself. You might remember your various vacation destinations, but there's few who can remember the countless hotel hallways they have passed through. Is that why you feel off? You have a lingering feeling that you might have been here before, but you can't quite put your finger on it. The strange yet distant familiarity of these places make them feel like they exist in an altered reality. But they can't possibly be in a different dimension, can they? You've seen so many hotel hallways in your lifetime, but your memories of them are so out of reach. You've never really stopped to think about them, much less appreciate them. I first got introduced to the concept of liminal spaces after looking at the infamous Backrooms photo. At the time, the concept of endless, sprawling office corridors terrified me. Being alone was terrifying enough, but the Backrooms creepypasta framed it in such a way that it amplified the sadness of being alone, while amping up the paranoia to a similar degree. There is no escape, the story went. You are perpetually stuck in this never ending labyrinth of dull, yellow wallpaper and old, moist carpets, with nothing but the buzzing of the fluorescent lights above to mask the sound of your rapidly beating heart. You heard a noise just a few minutes ago. Or did you? The backrooms love to mess with you like that. However, the terror I felt was temporary. While browsing Reddit, I soon stumbled across an entire subreddit where pictures with the same backrooms vibe were being showcased. You could imagine my heart skipping a beat. I felt as if the backrooms were calling to me. You're scared of being alone, being forgotten. I braced myself, fully preparing for the terror to come back once more as I clicked on the subreddit. My occasional self-destructive curiosity was now about to screw me over again. The first picture loaded, and I felt peace. Going back to hotel hallways, this was the first post I saw on the subreddit. It was posted with the caption, "My swimsuit's still dripping water." Memories suddenly flooded into my head. Swimming in the hotel pool, eating a hearty meal afterwards, the pure ecstasy of going down a water slide. All these things happened years ago, yet this simple photo managed to dig up long forgotten moments. My journey into the world of liminal spaces thus began. Now, for the uninitiated, you may all be scratching your heads right now, thinking, what the hell is a liminal space? Well, I'll give you the technical definition first, followed by some fluid gray area definitions. Liminality was a term coined by Arnold van Gennep. I'm sorry if I botched the pronunciation there, who used the term in his work Rites de Passage, or Passage. In his book, he defined liminal rites as transitional rites. Rites that signify the passage between two boundaries, two thresholds. From this etymology of liminality, we are able to understand liminal spaces a bit better. Liminal spaces are spaces which fall between two boundaries or thresholds. And these boundaries can be physical, emotional, or metaphysical. Hotel hallways are the bridge between your departure and your destination. They can thus be seen as liminal or transitional spaces. This familiar hallway all moviegoers will subtly recognize can also be seen as a liminal space. It serves as the gap between the mall and the theater. A lot of liminal spaces also feature doors, stairs, hallways, or pipes. And these objects are also seen as transitional objects. They take you from one place to another. They add a lot to the liminality of a space. Emotional and metaphysical boundaries can also influence our perception of a liminal space. The auditorium that we graduate in, the ball pit you used to play in as a kid. Surreal locations like the heavenly pool shown at the start of the video, or this hallway filled with flowers, or even this granite structure in the middle of the desert can all seem like spaces between two dimensions. These are all examples of liminal spaces. Liminal spaces have always been fascinating to me, as they elicit a unique emotional response. One full of nostalgia and peace, coupled with a bit of warmth and comfort, and sometimes a tinge on being on edge or paranoia. It deviates from the way our minds view the world around us. It also poses to us a question that has never been asked to us before. Why do these places feel so familiar, yet so distant? Is it because we never stopped to think about them in the first place? I see liminal spaces as the loading screens of our lives. Their purpose is to bring us from one place to another, from one idea to the next, from one stage of life to the next. When we are in these liminal spaces, we usually do not recognize them as such, because our future is but a muddy and blurry mess. Liminal spaces exist only because we have the knowledge of the past and present. They form due to the memories of our departure and our destination. After learning so much about liminal spaces, however, it still didn't answer the one question I posed at the start of the video. Why do I feel off? Why do I feel this distant familiarity? I couldn't come up with an answer, but in my wallowing, I had another epiphany. While writing the script of this video, I kept thinking about the ending I wanted for the video. I knew that I wanted it to be about liminal spaces, but I just didn't know what I wanted to link the topic to. Solar Sands has a great video about deconstructing and determining the characteristics of liminal spaces, while Clark Elieson has an insightful video as well, linking liminal spaces to philosophical ideas. They are both wonderful videos, and of course they will be linked below, but I didn't want to follow in their footsteps. I kept thinking about the ending of my video, and then it hit me. Was writing my script a liminal space? But Tomodachi, I hear you typing away in the comments, aren't liminal spaces supposed to be physical transitory spaces that signify moving from one place, idea, or temporal landmark to another? And yes, Yes, they are physical spaces, and it was funny to refer to my writing as a liminal space, but hear me out. I was so focused on the ending of the script that it never occurred to me that I could just let go, let transition consume me and sweep me away to unknown places. So, I guess my script isn't much of a liminal space as it is a liminal thought. Liminal spaces embody the idea that transition is so fleeting, so temporary, so forgettable that when we are forced to look at it by itself, something feels off. One can argue that the lack of a context can make liminal spaces seem suspended, like a bridge hovering in midair. But as goal-oriented human beings, we can't help but just waltz through life, going from destination to destination, goal to goal, milestone to milestone. Liminal spaces are there to remind us that transitions hold a strange kind of beauty in them, one that we easily dismiss in our daily lives. When I had the sudden thought to refer to my script writing as a liminal space, I was really referring to the act of transition that writing a script entails. This kind of transition, of course, exists not only in writing a script, but also in many other forms of creative media. Each stroke of the pen while you draw, each shutter of a lens while you photograph, and each click of a mouse while you edit are all transitions in the creative process. It is these that get you from a blank canvas to a fully colored painting. It is these that get you from an empty film to a photo album, or an idea into a moving box on YouTube. The subtle, strange, and warm beauty that envelopes me when I look at a liminal space is the same kind of feeling I want looking back at my drawings or even my videos. A beginning can stay forever untouched, and an ending can leave a lasting legacy. In the middle of these two lies transition, the ephemeral, momentary zone in which a beginning morphs and transforms into an end. Transitions are temporary, and it is this that gives them their beauty. So, enjoy the process. Did I just use liminal spaces to go off on a wild tangent about enjoying the present moment? Yes. And someday, this video will become liminal. It's not my first video, but it will contribute to everything I will do in the future. And that's where the beauty lies.